Oh, I was just going to mention, what are your thoughts on talking about that situation, kind of similar to Mitch and Kenny Pickett? What do you
That's where I
think
was
is
going
going to...
next. We're
Oh,
here.
really? Okay.
We're here.
Okay, we're there.
So
How
no,
do you think Mitch is starting week 1 or Kenny Pickett's getting right away?
here's the thing. Tomlin can do no wrong, in my opinion. He's one of the best coaches in the NFL. So who am I to say that he's wrong no matter what he does? I was excited to see Trubisky get out of Chicago and have an opportunity. And I really wish we'd have got to see that. But with Pickett being drafted in the first time, you're probably just not going to see that. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't think, man, Trubisky can be fantasy relevant. Like, I really wish they would have drafted a later quarterback because I would have been all over him as a sleeper just from his rushing upside and being in he would have had the best weapons he's ever had this year. And weapons that I think fit his skill set more. Whereas Allen Robinson's a great receiver. I think guys, quick, short route, intermediate route, guys like Deontay Johnson would have just elevated his game and given him a much more consistent target for his skill set. And a great running game to boot with that. Some of Trubisky's best times was when Montgomery was carrying the rock and that running game was moving. Yeah. So I'm back and forth. I hate to say I don't know, but the small hands are a thing, okay? You can make jokes about it. We can make the memes you want. Small hands on a quarterback. I don't want my quarterback wearing gloves. I don't want him wearing 2 gloves, okay? Yeah. If you're Tom Brady and earn that right because you have a broken finger and want to wear a glove, okay. You're Tom freaking Brady. It's more about here than your hand size. But for all the metrics we look at in a quarterback, right? We look at, breakout age. We look at when they came out in the draft. Like, he doesn't hit any of that. He's a 5th-year senior who honestly did not play the best of competition. I got to watch him against the Tennessee Vols this past year, and although they won that game, the Tennessee secondary was nothing to be excited about. I mean, they had really 2 players and nobody else, and he beat us more across the middle, and we had 2 linebackers that were not ready to be starting at that point. I think if Tennessee would have played him more towards mid-season, it'd have been a completely different game. Not to go deep into that, but just that is my biggest experience with Pickett. He was a guy that I didn't even care to scout because I knew I was out on. The only relevance Pickett has for me is the fact that dadgummit, he landed in Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh just has so many weapons. They're so well coached, man. If anything, Pickett has a veteran mindset, being an older quarterback coming into the league. I could see Pickett finishing a rookie year as QB2 and everybody going crazy, but I think that's his ceiling. I think QB2 is Pickett's ceiling. What do you think?
I agree with the ceiling. I think I don't think he has enough to ever be a QB1. I was really surprised he went at that spot. I know they really needed a quarterback, but I was really surprised that he got drafted there. But it is a really, really, really good situation. You have Tomlin, you have you got Deontay Johnson, they got Claypool, they just drafted Pickens, who a lot of people said could have been WR1 if not for injury. So he's surrounded by weapons. He has Tomlin there. Najee Harris, can't forget about him.
No.
I don't think he's going to start right away, though. I think they're going to let Mitch play a little while. Because he has like really, really high draft capital, but that doesn't always mean they're going to start him right away. I think they want to work with Mitch a little bit. Could be similar to the Ritter situation where maybe around like week 5-ish they look at putting him in. I wouldn't be surprised if Mitch started for like a good chunk of the season. I don't think I don't know if I haven't heard much news about camp so far, but I don't know how sold they are on Pickett starting week 1. I would start Mitch, but I'm not too sure how good they feel about Pickett right now in camp.
It's going to be so interesting. I think that job's going to be one in the preseason. I think that's going to be one of those few things the preseason's good for, is you're going to get to find out who the starting quarterback of Pittsburgh is through how they play. So that'll be interesting.